You're listening to White Noise with your host, Drip, 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 Drip.
We're back. White Noise, episode 9. Your host, Drip, with co-host and producer, Cal, the one and only, former predictions champ.
Soon.
The only 4-time predictions champ, though. I think I was looking at the image I made the other day in my bookmarks. Like, I got to add your 4th title reign, and then once Mimi's on the pod this week, add her to the Hall of Champions. Because at that point, all 5 of us now have been.
We've all held the title once.
Once, yeah.
Yo, when I get my belt back for a 5th time, I need to start cutting some clips or something. 5 times, something. It's going to be annoying.
Well, I need to get the belt back. So, like I said this past week, I can wear this again.
Oh,
which is kind of the premise of this week's episode.
Yeah,
I think I told you I made this with the intention of like the NBA Finals championship hat.
Right.
Tag.
Right.
And you had said it was Niner colors, but I'm like,
it looks like Niner colors.
It is, but it's supposed to be the NWA belt because the red right here is the red NWA letters, and then the gold and the silver. They happen
that makes sense. That makes hella sense.
But I almost, so maybe going forward, I'll try to buy one for each of y'all.
Well, it's not even. I think it's one of those things where.
So there was an image I forgot to put in where Shawn Michaels had like a WWF champ when he was on his run in '96.
Oh, really?
Find that real quick.
There's the thing with the hats and everything. It's just like stuff happens. Like I got to see Math and Fam on Friday night, right? I've always had this one. This was a sample. This was the sample
it's the
for
green.
The Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of key differences. This is why I cherish this hat more than the other one I actually got. There's no stitching on here, which is like but also the snap is green. But the kicker, because the color is actually different. Like the color that people got, the color that the hat that the patrons got, this is truer to the Dallas Mavericks.
There's the time in the '80s where the Dallas Mavericks had the green, the real dark green as the alternate. Yeah,
this low key reminds me like the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, but they went from the dark green to the lighter green
to this John.
Yeah, see right here. Oh, hang on real quick. It's too bright, but that's Shawn Michaels with a hat that says, I think, WWE Champ Heartbreak Kid.
Oh, let me see if I can find that. I thought the Shawn Michaels hat Heartbreak Kid.
It's from this vintage, this account that posts vintage, like Japanese images from wrestling throughout it. I can't remember which pro wrestling account it is, but that's the topic of today's episode. It's a weird topic, but hat talk. We might have to come up with a better name, but there were basically 3 real reasons. One, which is what will kind of be the main premise, is Kyle Shanahan's Shanahan being banned. The second is the Pipe Downs. Mm-hmm. Our latest hat will be dropping sometime soon. And third is that you had told me, I think a week or 2 ago, that you bought your man, the summer man, a birthday gift, and it was a vintage Mission Impossible hat.
Yeah.
And previously, you and I had discussed how dope the Haywood Hollywood Horses hat was in Nope, which you didn't get that. You got the shirt, but you didn't get the hat. And I think if you had gotten the hat, I would have been pissed because that hat is fire.
I hit the Universal rep. I was like, yo, if y'all ever make this hat, I need that hat. Like no bull. I don't care about anything. I would love that. That when I saw that in the theater,
in the trailer, I just knew that hat was because it starts off with the first moving image of him is a man on a horse, and it cuts to Daniel Kaluuya wearing this hat. I'm like, what is that hat?
Right.
And then that's a big part in the trailer. And when like the whole do you believe in a bad miracle? What's a bad miracle? And like he wears the hat throughout the movie. I'm like, and it's a trucker, which we'll kind of get into like the different styles of hats that we enjoy.
Big truckers down here.
The Shanahan hat is Kyle Shanahan, the coach of the 49ers. He brought this hat in 2019. He made it himself. He had told the story on Chris Sims' Unbuttoned podcast. He had said he didn't wear any hats, and New Era asked why. He said he didn't like them. The typical NFL hats, the athletic kind of dad hats.
Right.
And they were like, what about if you designed one yourself that you'd wear? Because we want you to at least wear something. And he said he shrunk the logo super small, which is this black 49er logo, and gave it the flat bill and the mesh trucker hat in the back. And he wore it a majority of the 49ers 2019 season, which they went on like an amazing run that year. They made it to the Super Bowl and lost. But he said he wanted to stop wearing it after week 4 or 5. And his wife said, no, that's why we're winning. So you have to keep wearing it.
Right.
And then come the next season, 2020, he brought this hat.
He got all
well, I'm trying to see that. So if you want to post that image of him with the 49er hats I have. So
let's look at that shit, man.
So Kyle Shanahan, a big fan of his, but he has, so like I said, that red one, that white one I couldn't get. I think you can maybe get it online through the sites that you can't trust.
That's a new era as well. This white one up here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Again, same thing. It's 49er logo.
Yeah.
Mesh trucker, and then he had this one which he wore a lot of the 2020 season when they had kind of a dog shit year. But this is a typical new era, 950 snapback, which I think is what the pipe downs will be.
That's indeed.
See,
that's indeed, and I mean, just no bullshit. It's 950s all
exactly.
Yes, exactly. Matter of fact, keep going, Drip.
So you had that one, and then people were like, when are you going to bring back the Shanahan hat, the red trucker one? And there was also a black version, which I think he'd worn only a few times, but that one's super rare to get. When I initially bought this, I bought it after the Super Bowl loss because it was out of sale. It was out of stock until then. They had to cancel my order. I don't know if COVID had played a factor in it or not, but then it came back into stock in the summer, and I was able to get it. But unfortunately, I can't get that white one if you want to put the image back up again. So then he has that gray one on the bottom part. And then the one in the middle, the military one, is what he wore a majority of last year when they kind of rebounded from the shit year they had in 2020. So majority of 2021. He brought the red one back for a few games, and they didn't play as well. But he wore this salute to service hat is what it's called, because it's the NFL's partnership with the military, the Army, and all that to, proceeds go to that.
Right.
And he wore that, I think, from November till they lost in the NFC title game.
Right.
And then on the side, he wears this melon. So that's a melon hat. I had to look this up because I'm like, what's so it's a hat like this.
Hold up.
It's a surfer style hat.
Oh, it looks like some California type shit.
Yeah, well, Kyle Shanahan grew up the son of Mike Shanahan, the former Denver Broncos coach.
Gotcha.
And he used to work for the 49ers before that.
Yeah.
So he, in this interview with Chris Sims, he talks about why he wears the hat. And he's like, I grew up in California. And Chris Sims like, you thought you were a surfer. You thought you were a skater growing up in California. All that. So that's why you wear these weird hats. He's like, to me, they're not weird hats. Because he's a youngish guy. I think he's only a few years younger than my dad. He might be between Hall of Fame and my dad's range. So, he wears kind of the flat bills, snapbacks, trucker style.
Right.
And he'll wear these melon hats, and I got a melon hat just to be like, and this shit, it's again, I think it's supposed to retain water if you want to wear it like during surfing or after or anything like that.
Right. Or if you're just out there for a while and you want to get some ventilation.
And they're pretty expensive too, which is the thing about hats just in general, but it's a comfortable fit again. So that's what we're on the side. But this year he was on KBR radio, which is the radio station I grew up listening to in the Bay. And the station, the show asked him about the hat, and this is what he had to say. I have such beef with them right now, Shanahan said. It's a tough issue going on. They won't let me pick out my own hat. They won't let me wear any of that's from a previous year, of the hats from a previous year. So I can't wear like an older one. He's talking about the red one, even that gray one, or even the white one.
Right.
I've got to wear the new ones that they give this year. Unfortunately, there's none I like wearing. Hopefully we can figure it out or wait until salute to service. It's just deals. I don't want to go too hard or get fined or anything, but trust me, I'm upset about it. And this is the whole point, like the NFL being the no fun league and being strict, guys celebrating, guys, doing anything. I think until it was allowed, I think they were pissed that Bill Belichick would cut the sleeves off his hoodies. And have his weird look. Mike Shanahan, Mike Nolan, when he became the coach of the Niners in like 2006, wanted to wear suits And by that time, they had the deal with Reebok where you had to wear like Reebok apparel. So Reebok made him a suit.
What?
Yeah, it was like a suit made out of like Reebok material. Such a weird thing because the NFL is so ass backwards when it comes to like their deals and all that.
He had an athleisure suit on.
It's like a polyester suit or like,
That's crazy.
If you look it up, it's kind of insane. But it's the thing where like the NBA has kind of gone away from suits and where coaches can wear like half zips, athleisure wear. They did that for the bubble in 2020, and I've kind of stuck with it since. Guys can wear suits or they can wear the pullovers that at least have team logos. But
stop it, because he's not wearing this fucking hold up. I'm ashamed.
Yeah. He's wearing a suit that's made from. Imagine having a Reebok suit.
Wait, Drip, you watch The Office?
Yeah, I've seen a few episodes. Yeah,
he got on. You didn't see the episode where Michael. They realized that Michael was wearing a woman's suit.
Maybe.
so.
Is it like it's tight, right? Or like
it basically it fits him like a woman. It's got no pockets on the butt. You know what I'm saying? It had it had like shoulder pads or something. Hold up,
because Mike would know this really well. He'd be like, "Oh yeah."
When I pulled up this photo,
yeah.
I have to. I'm moved. I have too many images in here, so I'm trying to not mess up the flow.
But that's a Reebok made suit.
This is a Reebok, and he's just walking out. It looked like this. Like that's what I immediately thought. Mysterious head ass. That's crazy.
The only thing I can think of that's similar, there's an episode of New Girl where Nick puts on a trench coat and it's clearly a woman's trench coat. He's like, why does it fit like a damn glove? And he's like, I feel good. And they're like, that's clearly a woman's coat. It's made for hips. It just showed up at the apartment and he put it on. And at the end of the episode, the woman's like, is that my coat?
The buttons were on the wrong side of this jacket.
It clearly looked like a woman's coat just because like the simple features of like men and women's clothing at that time, were just like,
right.
It shouldn't have like a belt here, or it shouldn't have a collar. It shouldn't be this way.
This shit looks like it may have had a belt in the middle. This
is just how the NFL is, and like again, Shanahan being kind of like one of the younger coaches, and a coach with style. Again, wanting to wear truckers and flat bills,
right?
When most of them just wear typical dad athletic hats, which there's something wrong with that. I like my fair share of that, but being different in a league that kind of doesn't want things to be different,
right? Right.
And him saying like, I can't wear the old ones, even if it's like the same manufacturer is the thing, like, promote the new stuff. It's like, but as we've kind of, we'll get into like the vintage part of hats like this, especially movie hats, is like, there's always kind of a market for stuff that's old is new again.
Oh yeah. That's me. I'm that market.
Yeah. Which is, I think something that I was kind of low key always into, but really didn't figure out because there's some good pages out there. But the main one is Director Fits. You follow this page.
Director Fits is a good page, yeah.
You follow us, and I follow it as well. That's what I'm talking about. Where there's an image of Tony Scott, the late Tony Scott, on the set of Revenge wearing hose shorts, is what they would be called now.
Yeah.
Like a biker pullover, a McDonald's hat, and fucking Reebok trainers making Revenge of Kevin Costner.
He was directing in that fit.
Yeah, and he was already a legend because his style, movie making, was the shit. But then when you see this man smoking a cigar with a McDonald's hat,
right,
it's just like legend. And the same thing like I had said prior, like David Fincher on the set of Fight Club wears an old school Nike hat. You could tell back then like their hats, the way they were structured in the front, and the bill was so short and curved. And he made a ton of Nike commercials in the 90s before he became a director. That's what he was a music video and a commercial director.
Right.
And I think kind of the two famous icons, and it's funny, I compared these two guys to you in terms of your style, which I think is great, is Spike Lee with his Malcolm X hat.
Yeah.
This was like the thing in the 90s, right? Especially the early 90s.
I had a Malcolm X, I had a black Malcolm X hat, and the X might have been red, yellow, and green. Like the stitching, it was red on the top, yellow in the middle, green on the bottom, I believe. But yeah, when this film came, like the let me take a look. At that time in the 90s, like Afrocentric was in, and a lot of those images of Malcolm X were big anyway, especially in black communities. But when the movie was coming out, these hats bootleg and not, were everywhere. But
I was about to say, like, where could you buy these hats?
When I was growing, Spike Lee used to have a shop. He still does, Spike's Joint. That's where he sells all his merch now. But there may still be a brick and mortar store, and you could go there and get the official stuff. I got mine. I mean, I live in Trenton. I'm downtown. Is not that far from where my mom's house is, and you could go. Any shops down there would have bags, and again, like if you wanted to get like a good dashiki or something, there's stores down there, and a lot of those shops that you could maybe get like hair or like hair care products, like little fashion shops would have.
You're not finding this in like a J.C. Penney's.
Oh no, not
nationwide. It was
back
exclusive
then.
To like
it
black people and
maybe black communities, or like if you knew of like a video store, like a music store that kind of catered to certain demographics, maybe more so, maybe like a hip hop record shop or something like that. I could see them having hats up there, but they might need to be on the bigger end to be able to stock some of that stuff. You're not going, if your mall was in a black community, you could probably get Malcolm X hats at a store in the mall. But like my local mall, in like a step away is where the biggest mall is near me, and they wouldn't have that stuff there. Classic.
Yeah, that's why I kind of wonder, because I know like there's famous images of Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan, and there was that story where they contributed financially to finishing the film.
Right.
But I know, I think in the I think it's the I Hate Christian Laettner doc, where Peter Rosenberg and Ariel Helwani talk about being anti-Duke, and I think Ariel Helwani, the famous MMA and wrestling reporter now, talk about I had the Malcolm X hat. Right. I wore this clothing in the 90s, and that it was the complete opposite of Duke, which is why Michigan was so popular with the Fab Five. Like, you didn't want to root for these clean-cut white guys. You want to root for the running rebels and all that. Like those guys are the enemy. These got with their militant coach and their pompadour hair and their grit and their their scrappiness and all that. But
all facts.
Spike Lee still kind of like has his style when you see him courtside or on the set making movies.
Yes, he's unique. He's a very unique individual.
Yeah, and like in a positive way. And the other is the late great John Singleton. This hat right here is something else. I had said like a few months ago, if you dress like John Singleton and Spike Lee, I think you would post like when you were out and about one day, like your shoes, your shirt, because again, you wear a lot of vintage shirts if you're not wearing our shirts,
right, and
you haven't already saying hat collection. We'll share some more personal favorites, but and the fact that you wear glasses too is the thing that you have in common with these two men.
It's one of those things. I don't consciously, but I think a lot of my style has come off of just being a fan of their movies and seeing there's a couple of images of John Singleton there's one he's got like
he has a pirate's hat.
He's got the pirate's hat. He's got like a goat, and he's out. Because there's one with Ice Cube, and I think there's one with him by himself. But those images are always so iconic to me.
Yeah, I mean, famous director of a lot of LA-based movies: Poetic Justice, Boys in the Hood, Higher Learning. Yes, you went on the pod a few times before. I think we had the strictly BRP hat wear.
Yeah.
I think and I'm saying I think this probably came really into the 90s again, an era that you were growing up in. I hadn't been born yet, which is why it's probably come back around, especially with certain 90s sneakers, whether they be pennies, Barclays, anything like that, shoe wise.
Pennies are popping up. I'm seeing more people talking about pennies lately. That's interesting.
Anoraks, the starter jackets, anything like that, pullovers,
that
type of clothing.
The Nike Air Trainer ones, like they had their 35th anniversary this year because they were started in '87. But people have been flocking to the Air Trainer 3s, the ones that Bo Jackson popularized when he was running shit in the NFL and in the MLB. But yeah, all of that during the quarantine, like that, I know a lot of people were already in the vintage shit. A lot of people were starting to resell, and it kind of, for me anyway, digging into the time where I would see Spike Lee looking like this on TV has made me go look for things I wasn't able to obtain, or things that I didn't know even existed, but I can get.
And what you had said made total sense. Like you see these two men that you look up to, or you're inspired by their films or a fan of their films, like, and their style. It's a thing that always, I think, affects people in a way, like who influences your style, how you want to dress, how you want to look. You know, like a hat I have right here in my bag is from. Nope, not. Damn it! This is bad audio.
What's the bad stuff in Drip Bag?
It's this GQ hat that you had to subscribe to the magazine to get, but they had posted this on the page. And again, GQ is the like how to dress, what to wear, all that. You know, growing up, when I was a teen, it's like, oh, okay. As I started paying, like, I should dress better. I should care about my appearance, especially as I'm like halfway through high school. And with this hat that they made for the like, but again, you got to subscribe to get it. It's just a simple logo. It's a dad hat too, which,
right.
I mean, what's your typical style in terms of like what hats do you prefer at the end of the day? What's number one?
All right, let's see. All right, normally I'm a fitted hat guy.
Okay.
So like and I'll show you one of the problems. Like I got this Trenton Thunder old logo. I wanted to get this to wear it to see Thor because the old logo looked like Thor. Yeah. I didn't end up getting it in time, and this is a 7.5 new era, but it doesn't fit me properly.
Is it too small or too?
It's a little too tight. I think it's you see this new era logo. It's a little different. I don't normally buy the hats with I don't know. There's only so much Trenton Thunder product on eBay. It's not like it's terrible, but it's too tight for me to want to wear on a consistent basis. But I can wear the hat. You know what I mean? Like, look, I can rock the hat. It's just a little too snug. Just a little too snug. But normally. Yeah, my White Sox hat isn't that. Normally, like my White Sox hat is my staple. It's just.
I was gonna say that's like your interview hat. I think. Right?
That's my. I haven't had a bad interview in this hat yet. Let me throw that. Yeah. It's like the good luck charm, but that's my staple. But because I've been trying to find more jersey stuff, so I'll get just like random snapbacks. You know what I mean? Like old logo stuff. This is the Nets logo I grew up with. Drazen Petrovic.
I was about to say Kenny Anderson.
But then you start like because pieces like this are staples. Like anybody from Jersey, I wore this hat on a meeting at my former job, and they're like, "Oh wait, I haven't seen that hat in forever." I'm like, "Really? You can get these on eBay for like $30 just because they want this hat all the time." The Devils were only champions in the '90s so many times, I guess. But realistically, as my style is kind of like, especially when I'm trying to get like movie shit, like I've gotten into like this is a Batman corduroy hat.
Yeah.
I got this. Again, I bought this to wear to see the Batman when it came out earlier this year. But the corduroy hat thing is interesting. I never really got into it as a youth, but
or like the 5-panel hats that came around after like a lot of feature took off.
I can't style those personally as well.
Bucket hats.
The size of my head it's a little off, but I did recently get a Die Hard with a Vengeance promo hat.
That's when we kind of like kicked off this thing. I know it's like a weird thing, but there'll be a few episodes kind of over the course of the show. We'll talk about some lifestyle stuff.
Right.
I think I had said, like something like this is a thing that all five of us are, obsessed with the fashion from our shoes to our heads. Again, like what pairs perfectly will fit? Is it a fit? Is it the hat or is it the shoes at the end of the day? And sometimes it can be both, but sometimes it's the headwear. Like
facts.
Like this version of the world famous pairs great with like the gray slick, either the tee or the crew neck, and I wore it with the because again they're both Dallas, the black Wrestling Dallas shirt when I was at All Elite last week.
Right.
But again, like hats, it's the thing for me where like growing up, I think my mom tried to dress me as like a 90s kid with a lot of like Nike shoes, Ralph Lauren shirts, and track pants and all that. And then growing up, so I think that's why snapbacks are kind of number one for me, just for the comfort and adjustability, but I always wear snapbacks backwards just so we can. I think it's a typical white guy from the '90s thing.
Yeah,
which is
and like
why
hair, so like yeah.
But that's why I've got like I look like shit. What was his name? From
The hat is very red.
It is, which is why again the pairs are great with like the red, my Scott Summers glasses.
Nah, yeah.
And
I
red,
wasn't even peeping that. You are Cyclops.
Oh, that's why I told you I'm a cop. Like Fam says, if you like Cyclops, Leonardo, who else did he say? Then you're the Red Ranger, which are all like my favorites. Like then you're a cop.
Damn, you really are a fan, Rip.
Shit, what was Bud from Married with Children? What was his rap alter ego?
Grandmaster B.
Yeah, like that's why I think Matt called that because I always wear my hats backwards, especially snapbacks, which was just I think like a '90s thing that my mom kind of always.
Does she have you in like the big? I feel like I've seen you in pictures in like the starter jackets, like the team jacket.
There are some images. There's a picture of me I can post right now where I have a '90s Adidas hat backwards
with like a big jacket on.
No jacket, but like it's. I think I'm wearing my Goldberg tee.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And my
that's actually funny. I never peeped that, but thinking of the old pictures I've seen of you as a kid, you do have like '90s swag on you. I get shouts out to mom.
Well, my parents, my dad too. I had young parents in the '90s. Like what Matt had said about his mom being in the car with Fam and Uchi Coochie, or like you see, I have a young mother, and then she hears that. Nope.
It's like that sometimes. Nah, but yeah, I think that's the thing. It's because you'll get my son doesn't get a lot of his style from me, but I do notice things that I'm into. Like he,
because every time I see him, I'd be like that definitely. It's like
it's subtle though. But the thing is like he's not as into sneakers as I can be. You know what I'm saying? So he won't understand why I'll get hype. Or more importantly, that I'd want to pay a couple $100s for a pair of sneakers. He's not into that at all. Yeah, that's a little drip. That's a little '90s baby right there. Even though he was definitely not born anywhere close to that. No, but yeah, it's funny to see I got him a pair of Air Max 90s the other day, school shopping or whatever. If he's down with aesthetics. Like if he likes the way something looks, he don't really care. He'll just want that piece. But where me, but he's younger. He's not really developed into all of that yet. So he may have time, but it's interesting to see like the little things he'll pull from. Like he gets into t-shirts. I was actually
I think you go through phases kind of like, oh, I only want t-shirts, and then I only want hoodies, and then I only want hats, and then I only want shoes, like because and then you're like scrapping everything else. Like I can get rid of this thing, and like it doesn't all pair together. You're trying to find a way to pair it together. This is why like certain stuff looks good with jeans, or certain stuff looks good with joggers or shorts. Like
my son is not up on all that. He don't even care for jeans yet. But interesting.
That's like when you get something like this, a very typical dad hat, which was like the big trend, I guess. When like Six Lack,
right?
I always call them that because it's
Six Lack.
Taylor, like the R&B rappers like in the mid 2010s like came back and like we're gonna stop with the snapbacks and the flat bills and start wearing dad hats again. Like trends will cycle through. And yeah, I think it's a thing where like it's when women in particular, because it made sense, which is why I made the droplets hat as a little bit of like as a joke, but seriously, you know what, like there is an audience where like, yeah, you can't, not everyone can wear or is into snapbacks or fitteds. Like I can't really wear fitteds because I don't know my true hat size. Mm-hmm. And I just like the adjustability of like being able to
adjust.
Compare like it's stuck like this forever.
And it's not you could really like a hat, and then if it don't fit, you might as well throw it in the garbage.
Well, when we were supposed to do this episode initially,
that's current. Because they love those droplet hats, though, didn't they?
Not anymore. They don't.
Damn, see ya.
But no, see, I bought like 3 different Nike athletic hats. One was a Nike golf hat. One I think was just like a regular Nike athletic hat, and one was a hat like this, a Nike dad hat material. And I just my dad dropped them off because I wasn't able to get to the place in time at the local like embroidery, shirt making store. Mm-hmm. And they did it up like that. And that's, and the cost, I'm like, no wonder Math gets pissed about the merch stuff because I have thought like, would I do more, or like would I make a white noise hat or do something like that, like which I probably will, but still it's a lot to make your own custom material, which is I guess why like Spike Lee, when he made the Malcolm X hat, was only not like willing to go nationwide with it because it probably not, but also I think the wanted to be authentic and limited edition, and this isn't for everyone,
right.
Not in a negative way, but like this isn't meant to be mass produced. And this film's about Malcolm X, like
100%. The audience is going to be so big, and the people are going to want to buy that stuff. Is going to be so many people. But nowadays, it's odd because
it's the opposite.
It's either they're ready to mass produce the stuff, or you can't even buy it. Like a lot of the movies. I get it. You're at a screening. Yeah, like I went to a screening
right here. Is like, to be honest, and I'm not just trying to be, again, even though I'm an emotional guy, a top 10 gift all time I've received is this hat. Because one, it fits so good too.
It's a good hat. It's a really decent hat. Yeah.
Like if I think I'd try to look up the Head Start is what it says right here.
Yeah.
And to buy like other, because the material on the outside, and again, F9, which I have a lot of problems with it, as people are aware.
Just Headmaster. I'm sorry.
But this hat fits so damn well, and
the pack. It came with a backpack. It was like a backpack. There was a couple of there was a bunch of stuff in the pack, and it was that. And I have because I got an F8 hat when Fast 8 came out.
Fast and Furious.
But that was just something that was like because I always had a thing for movie hats. Like I have a hat for that. I have a hat for what was that movie? Was Dwight Howard in the movie?
Dwight Howard.
Or somebody was in a movie. Fuck, let me see. Lil Rel was in it. Let me see if that's if Lil Rel could be my Kevin Bacon right now. It came out maybe like 4 years ago. They were playing. It was like an old man.
Oh, Uncle Drew.
Uncle Drew. I may still have it. I had a hat that had like the Uncle Drew like face logo in the middle.
Kyrie Irving as an old man.
I may have given one away. I had like a new Space Jam hat. I got more like all these movies that were coming out over the last couple of years. They were making hats and sending them in promo packs.
It's weird. I mean, I guess the promo part works so well for people like you that have the credentials or the access. Again, because you're meant to post it and share it. But like, I think there would be a market for stuff like this. Again, given how sites like Grailed and Hypebeast and all that with the vintage market, just from like when Kendall Jenner wore the NWO tee, the Wolfpack tee, and those had to get back into stock.
Right.
Because ain't no one going to make money off WWE except WWE.
Exactly.
But you think that, again, people being stands of all these movies now would like want an F9 hat or want a hat that represents Nope. Again,
right.
Like Hollywood, like, just wearing that instead of making it yourself and again, like going through like bootleg means or like that, like Universal could cash the fuck out with merchandise. I know that's also expensive to make and produce and sweatshops. We're not going to get the whole of that debacle.
Yeah, I was going to say though, it may. I mean, I think like
a headache.
The pandemic and shrinkflation and all of that stuff, I think can play a part into why some things may not be as mass produced for these properties. But I also think sometimes they just don't think about it. Because outside of that, the other times I've gotten dope product is when they've done like collabs. Black Panther would do collabs with everybody, and I still their Brisk Iced Tea collab. They had like dope things, but they had like the beads and shit that he was wearing. Like they did a lot to kind of try and drive, but it really depends on, I think, how much they can afford. And if they think there's going to be a bit like you were saying with Spike Lee earlier, if there's only a perception of so large of an audience, you may not want to try and make so much of a thing because then you can be left over with a bunch of product.
Well, like you have the image I had sent of Joseph Kosinski in the Top Gun Maverick hat. Again, this movie just passed Infinity War for the 6th highest grossing movie of all time. Like, you mean to tell me because white people won't buy this Top Gun Maverick hat? Because I fucking would.
But what did you watch Succession?
Yeah.
You made it all the way through, right?
No, I have to finish season 3. I got, I think, just barely through halfway season. I was watching it as it was going on, but then I stopped. I can't remember why I stopped. I got to finish season 3. But there are some dope hats that Kendall Roy wears.
Season 2, he bought. There was that fictional company that was like Gawker or Deadspin or whatever that they bought, and they made the hats. I think they made like they made a small run of promo hats with that company's logo on it, like stuff like
HBO and Showtime have shops for that, like because I looked into it, like you can buy an Axe Capital shirt, which is from the show Billions. HBO, they had a bad Insecure hat on HBO shop, and I'm like, this was better. I would maybe consider it.
Netflix started doing that too. They low-key have them.
I mean, they didn't sell the Gray Man track jacket, but I mean,
well, they had like bootleg when the Kanye doc came out. Like it was gear that was designed to kind of look like he designed it, but he didn't design it at all, and it wasn't $400. So you're like a shitty Netflix approved knockoff of a Kanye. I don't know. Some of the stuff on there is kind of weird. You kind of gotta get out. You have to go to the collabs that they're doing directly with people, because a lot of the time there's one. Damn, I'm not gonna say the name of the movie, but I did receive a promo pack within the last couple of years. It was literally a backpack where they wrote the name of they stitched the name of the movie wrong. It missed it was like one letter in the film's title that they
might have to type that in the chat so I can.
I hit the wrap up directly. I'm like, yo, I don't know how many of these went out, but I got a promo pack and the promo pack. But it was just like this one, because they had it was like 3 or 4 different items. Like it was like a shirt, it was a hat, and a backpack. And it wasn't the shirt. It might have been the hat. I think the hat was missing a letter on the stitching, because they were able to I guess monogram or whatever the logo onto the other 2 items. But it was that's one of those things though that in 20 years time, if I held on to it in perfect condition, I wonder if those baseball cards that have incorrect stuff on them, they're worth more money.
Just given how stuff like that works these days.
Who knows?
But no, it's a thing where back in Succession, there's that great episode where they go to meet Josh, Adrian Brody's character, and Logan and Kendall are both wearing hats, and when you actually look up, those hats are expensive as fuck, even though they're just blank hats, which is the whole thing about billionaire fashion is blank clothing that it costs $400.
Yeah, 100%.
But I understand the studios, or the companies themselves, Netflix. If they would have made a Gray Man hat, would I probably bought it? Maybe, or something like that. It's how much could the MCU make when Kevin Feige shows up to each press conference or movie premiere when he has the vintage or limited edition Captain Marvel hat, because he had the Blade hat from Mahershala Ali and gave it to him a number 1 draft pick. He shows up to all these events wearing the hat for whatever movie he's promoting.
I think he does that because he's balding though. No disrespect,
I was about to go there in a way, not in a negative way, but because I always check in the mirror. I'm like, this temple right here. I'm getting worried. I'm getting worried, but I'm but no, I mean, a way to you said, the way I'm able to wear snapbacks backwards because I have hair, so that look kind of. I also think it's an Ash Ketchum thing from Pokemon, because when he was getting serious, he would have his hat like this and then churn that shit backwards when it was kind of fucking step it up. But and not to hide baldness, but I remember Jesus and Mero, because they were the duo formerly known as Jesus and Mero. They said since they were both bald, they were always seen wearing hats. But I think it was Mero said, in actuality, it's a great way for branding.
Facts.
Because they would wear super rare hats, and what does that even mean? It's these companies they'll send you more because you're basically promoting their company on a national platform, which I think everyone tries to do. I mean, not saying that we are, but I mean we are with our hats. But
if people are watching you, and they're going to, eventually someone's going to notice and try and get you to wear something so that people can see you with it on.
It's a men's version of what's that dress is by so and so by Vera Wang. It's this hat's by Off-White, or by this small company that will now be able to mass produce hats like that. And thanks to you, and you might get free stuff for life by being able to promote their company.
When I tell you, again, and being where I've worked, I've been able to see companies go from like shouts out to Basket Case. They were a company maybe 4 years ago. I got randomly put onto. They were still screening random shit on the vintage T-shirts. It was dope, and then I started buying their product. And after a while, you would see like I think Dwayne Wade wore a piece of theirs on a magazine cover. Big Sean did like a photo shoot in one of their tees or something like that. And then it went from that to like, oh, he was designing merch for one of the Donda, something with Donda, some Kanye related something. He did a whole thing with Adidas. Like it was like that stuff can actually happen where people can blow up like that just based off of that little cosign.
No, I've seen it with I think it might have been right before COVID. I can't remember how I saw it. It might have been a GQ thing where there's this golf fashion company created by these two black guys called Eastside Golf. And it's, trying to diversify golf more, which is something that's been much needed. Not just because only Tiger Woods, but like in the sport in general is just so white or European. And I bought one of their like early crew necks and got it. And it's a dope crew neck. The logo is like a guy with like a gray crew neck, jeans, sneakers, and a gold chain swinging the club. And like now they've kind of blown up because they have, I think, kind of a co-sign by like Michael Jordan, Victor Cruz. A lot of athletes have now kind of partnered with them. And that's just how, like you said, a brand will grow. The golf hats for me, I got one right here. This is a dope one to me. It was very divisive. So the Nike is going this way instead of being like this.
Right.
One of my favorite golfers, Boris Koepka, wore this, and again, he's kind of one of these guys who tries to break the rules of golf and not being so like upper class and snooty. And people were shitting on this hat. He's like, it's a different hat, like stuff shouldn't just have to be the way it was before, and and he was. One day he wore custom-made off-white golf shoes at an event. I think he wore, when Nocta Golf came out, he wore their turtleneck. But this hat is also just one of my favorite hats. I bought this in summer of 2019, and then right before COVID, I bought the red one and the blue version of it too, just because the way it fits. It has the adjustable back.
Oh, shit.
So like you can pull like that, and it's just soft and comfortable, and like it's made out of this material where it's just so flexible. It's not stiff is the thing. And my dad likes the non-structured,
right.
Again, the typical dad hat style, which is, everyone has their own stuff. But that's why something like this, which when you watch shit from TV shows, so this hat just looks like a basic hat.
Right.
I think I referenced this last week. So in 2021, Mark Wahlberg had a reality show called Wall Street. It was documenting him as like an entrepreneur, and he was part of this fashion company called Municipal, which he's like a big investor in. And I bought one of their hats, and again, it's one of my favorite hats just to wear if I'm going to go out and do something real quick, because it's made out of like completely like flexible material. It's a trucker hat in the back, and it has the adjustable thing.
I didn't realize hat technology was this deep.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and it has like the cushioning in the back. Like truckers, I think is the big thing that's kind of resurged in the past couple of years. I know Eve said he wants to make truckers for their hats at some point.
Yeah, shouts to Eve.
But whenever I like go, especially like when it's kind of colder, I'll put like this on real quick, and then like throw a hoodie on as well if it's going to be that. But
Word.
I think like the design and all that has kind of gone up, and the branding aspect of it. And even if you're bald or like, I'll never really wear a hat unless like I'm having a bad hair day or if I just want to wear it. Well, my whole thing is like I don't want to wear hats too much, because I remember Nate was like, if you wear a hat too much, you'll lose your hair faster. And I'm like, what? Especially if I'm going to be outside and sweating or anything like that. So I'm always like or long periods of time, I always try to be cautious. Like I believe in like superstitions like that.
If your hair falling out, you don't want to grow up and be like me.
Well, no, I'll be able probably to cheat a little bit. I think I'll be able to do the Finn Balor. You call it the Peaky Blinders. So I'll just be able to rush it to the front for a few years if it starts. The Dean Ambrose, the John Moxley. But then I'm maybe trying to start a little hat collection now. So if the day ever comes, I hope it doesn't, knock on wood, that I'm ready at least.
You'll be able to have hats on deck.
A good collection of hats I actually enjoy wearing. Which one there are two hats I had gotten in the last couple of years. One was from you again. just as a pure joke, because I said I never ever bought the John Cena hat sweatband combo. I did have a John Cena hat briefly, but it was during 06 or 07 when we had like his Marine run. It was a military colored Hustle Into Respect hat. I got like Hot Topic. And the next weekend I came back, that our dog had like chewed it up and peed on it. So like I only wore it like once and could never wear it again. But I never had the sweatband combo. I've worn it on our regular show a few times. I did it for last Halloween when I dressed up. I put that hat and the sweatbands on. I didn't put any, but like he's the guy again who's worn a hat. I can't wear the hat with the glasses. That's what sucks sometimes. Like my look is always for glasses, sunglasses at least.
So deep.
So sometimes, like, well, that's why flat bills are the best really for that, is because there's enough room to put the sunglasses over. But even though I do like the new one, which you guys had said he stole our logo, I mean our skirt material, but I think isn't that didn't we steal the Mitchell and Ness? I mean hood. These are hood hats. I think they copied the Mitchell and Ness font, which I think.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's just real me being real. Like, gotta hear both sides. Like, let the white man off the hook.
What you're referring
to? But yeah, to get this hat, the comeback hat, this showed up one day, and I was like, no, get the fuck out of here. But the other hat is this hat.
Oh boy.
The CLB hat, which I got in 2020. I wore it on the pod of and the hoodie when Super BB was on the first time, which is a funny. But I've worn it a few times because it pairs well with the Bianca Belair Sasha Banks.
I can see that
because the lips, match like the and like the color of it being white, and we don't really have. I mean, you have a white shirt on right now, but we don't have too many white shirts of our own, so like that's in the whole pairing. But yeah, something like this, again, it's supposed to be a Nike athletic hat, and myself being able to kind of wear it both ways.
Whose lips are those?
Like who did?
Like, is there a specific woman's lips that those are?
I don't think he ever said, but there probably is one.
Just straight, real quick.
Yeah.
Get you.
What if it was his own? Like, and then you
tell me, you wearing the hat. I don't know what you would say.
That's what I mean. He did like the Kanye West, like these idiots will buy anything. Like,
would you burn the hat if it was Drip's lips on the hat?
No, I'm not burning anything. No, but I do have. I think this is one of my first purchases when I got money. Like when I got a job, I think this was like the second purchase ever.
Oh boy!
Is an October's very own snapback that I really haven't worn much. But there's the owl.
See, the thing is, I'm not the biggest Drake fan, but like my birthday's like if I wanted to be an October's very own, like I would wear that. I would wear that just because I was born in October.
Yeah,
I'm not, but like OVO is a whole thing, so I can't do all that. I have to steer clear from Nocta and them,
from the Sad Boys and all that, from the Owl Boys.
OG Sad Boys don't need to mess with the modern. No, I'm just kidding. Jeez.
No, it's that thing like wearing hats. I know it's a weird thing to do a whole show about, but like I said, I mean, especially I think it's a big thing in podcasting because the look of like you have the headphones over the hat is kind of like the podcaster's look in a lot of ways.
It makes things a lot easier, but like I think, like you said, branding. It's not like I seeing my bald head with headphones on it is one thing. Being able to see this and be like, oh, what's that hat? Like, I think it's there's a lot of like when I wore this hat Friday in Brooklyn, and that was all anybody was asking.
And that pairs well with the shirt because you have the color scheme of the shirt with the red and the yellow, and the fact that they're racist pieces of shit.
Those colors that we're
taking those colors back.
Taking the colors back, exactly. Nah, but it is. I think if you're a hat wearer and you have some type of like outlet or company or just a podcast, it would make sense to make a hat or do something like that.
Well, that's why again, if you want to put the one of me with Dynamite, the world famous hat, again, like no one came up to me with that hat. But if you want to post the other hat I sent. My own personal collection. This is what I'm calling my lucky hat, like in Goodfellas. And she's like, my hat, I can't fly without it.
This one?
The original world famous, yeah, which is what I got spotted with when Drew when I tweeted he'd seen my hat, then was able to find me through the hat.
No, of course. Well,
that's the branding aspect.
Know, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Then again, like no one came up to me at Dynamite, and I was wearing the hat a good amount of the time. But yeah, it just works like that. I mean, this is a classical hat, the Lakers colors, the world famous. And hood hats are just so comfortable too.
Math doesn't like the hood hat wear as much for him.
His head.
His head type specific, which I can understand. Like I have to adjust the hat. The hood hats they're a very good fit. They're a very comfortable fit.
That's what the 101 is a hood hat. Again, it's the only thing that could get customized for BRP Predictions Champion. But yeah, it fits like a damn glove. Like
very well.
Like it's supposed to.
It's not like I'm still more of a new, because this material is different. This is not the wool. This doesn't feel like the wool that a new era uses, but I think that's what makes it a little more easier to form fit to your head top.
And that's where I think is different, because these are both 950s and they're snapbacks, but this one fits much better. I think it must be just because of the trucker style.
Maybe the trucker style, yeah.
Whereas like this just seems like it's sometimes bigger because of the way it is. But there was a hat that was going to kind of kickstart this episode a few months that I bought, but it didn't fit well. It was a San Francisco Giants batting practice hat. It was similar to this in terms of like the regular material in the front and trucker in the back, but it was fitted. And I guesstimated my size, but it was also the low profile. So I think it didn't work for a number of reasons, where I probably had it too tight in the back, but then also like when I put it on, it was like this. Right. So I might just have to buy the regular fitted one. Think about this hat though. It does have the sizes. So right now I'm on the 3rd. So I'm a 7 1/4.
There you go. So what you do, Drip, you go to your mall and go to like Lids or something and try a hat on.
Well, here comes the thing where like who buys stuff in public anymore?
I mean,
I can't remember the last time I've actually bought clothes
in
public. Might have been COVID before
I got pants through Amazon recently. I'll go buy what have I bought in public? I bought hats at Lids before. I bought fitted hats at Lids before. I wish I brought it. I have a red Expos hat that people love, a red Expos fitted. So I think it's more because the Expos aren't around anymore. But that logo was just hard. But yeah, it really. I mean, you can order a 7 1/4 New Era and see if you like.
I'll probably do that again.
But it's fitted, so that's the thing. Like all this hair shit, like you're just gonna have to be resigned to your hair being up under your hat.
Yeah, well, that's like the difficult part of like ordering sneakers online too, where like are these supposed to run small or large? Like there's like the first pair, I bought 2 pairs of Kill Shots because it says like one's supposed to run they say you're supposed to run small, so I bought one my regular size and then one that ran small. The one that ran small was the better fit than the one that was supposed to be my regular size because the regular size had more room. But again, I wasn't able to find these shoes at a store to try them on.
Right. Yeah, I usually have to. I go through YouTube reviews and what on because that's Which with me for shoes, not to get too. I have a wide foot, like a flat wide foot. So
you want to get too personal? You're gonna say like I got a big ass foot. Like
it's one of those things where it's like the majority of people who are buying shoes are sizes smaller than my foot. And they have a difference, like their feet they're not constructed the way so I can't listen to someone say a shoe is true to size if it's too tight. Like I have to find.
They always at least go like, to me it fits, but also like some people we were like, I kind of was like this for a while. Like I like to have a little bit more room in the shoe. I was like that for a couple of years, so I'd buy my shoes like a half size too big, and then all of a sudden I'm like, what the a lot of the time I was buying my clothes way too big, but that was also like the style where I grew up, where like we were still wearing baggy shirts and jeans.
I mean, it depends. Like for Jordan 1s, I'm true to size, and it's perfect.
Well, the Jordan 1s I'm wearing right now are a half size too big, but it's also not a negative thing because I'm not going to be running around in these. I'm just supposed to be either sitting or standing. Yeah.
For whatever reason, the Jordan 1 fits my foot perfect. But if I were to buy like a pair of Air Max 90s, I'm going to go a half a size up just because they make those shoes a little tight. I may go a full size up depending on how tight it is, but that's why I won't buy Nikes over the internet mostly. I lucked up. I shouts to John Gotti. The Air Trainer 1s that I got I was like, they're saying go up a half size. You're saying they're true to size? He was like, nah, they're true to size. And I know he know, and I got them, and they fit like a glove. Got another pair, they fit like a glove as well. But those may be the only Nikes that I'm like comfortable with getting true to size, just because they I don't know if they construct them for people to, they want them to be snug. I don't know, but I can't always do true to size. But that's just me.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing of like kind of what spawned this as well. It's like, so not to invade on like coffee and kicks territory, even though I'd like to go on coffee and kicks and just be like, I only like to wear white shoes just because it pairs well with anything.
We got to get. Yeah, we should cross collab.
I'd be the Brendan Dunn of that episode, like just wear white shoes. That's it. But what do you think completes a fit more? Is it the hat or the shoes? Because remember the whole, it's got to be the shoes was.
Yeah, I think. Let me perfect example. Friday night, Math had on
Suwusos.
He didn't have the Suwusos on, but he had on some Wild Air Max on, right? And I mean,
like always.
But like he just had like a black tee and a pair of like shorts, like nothing loud, nothing, and just in a BRP hat. But the shoes can make the outfit look like anything. I think a really good hat can turn a good fit into a great fit, but I do think that they have to kind of coordinate, because you can either do a lot, like you can have a loud shoe and then try and make an outfit fit that, and it's a little too much, or you can have like a really plain outfit and throw a loud shoe and turn it into something else.
Will often say like, I just bought these shoes and I gotta find a crew neck or a shirt to pair with them, which that's why I think I'm always just besides I think the look of white shoes in general is like kind of a very Seinfeld thing. And like I said, it can be worn if anything, so that's why I'm like, I'm gonna care about everything else, and because like I don't have to worry about these because they can just go with whatever, and not be in the shoes be the most quiet thing because they're just basic in terms of like the color scheme.
I mean I've had fits where I've started the fit with the hat. You know what I mean? And I've had a lot of fits where, but at a certain point, if I start the fit with the hat, I gotta have the right pair of shoes on. But most of the time it's all right. What shoes am I wearing, and then what's the rest of the outfit? I think that probably happens more often than anything else, just because it again, like you were saying, certain jeans may not go with this cut of shoe. You may not like wearing these types of shirts.
That's why I wear you mock me when I bring the box of Air Force Ones, but like this hat, and then this hat, and then this hat, and along with my PacSun denim and my black wrestling crew necks or hoodies, that's the fit. Or the joggers. Like that's why, I mean, as much as this man called me drip because I showed up wearing an OVO owl crew neck on the first episode I ever did, and it just kind of stuck. Thinking my style is really just supposed to be kind of so basic where like I like wearing hoodies or crew necks and jeans and joggers, kind of go like for the walk around athleisure comfortable look.
Right. Easy.
In the white. Yeah. It's the thing also like as a cross between like the billionaire fashion where you look simple but you look good. Like you don't look like a slob or anything like that. Yeah. But that's why I think a hat, which I do like, sometimes like I said, I'll wear a hat for this and that. And the droplets hat thing was the ultimate branding to me about, again, like, what if I made a hat strictly for women to wear, and to, be like, look at this, look at my legions of fans and all that. They were just made for, two people in particular, and then a third special person got the third and final one. But I'm like, would I do more? People ask, maybe. Mimi had asked, but I'm like, you can't because you're part of the team. You can't be a droplet. But yeah, it's that thing. And that's a brand in itself in terms like, if I had maybe done something like on the side, if I had written like drip in a Sharpie, like some Virgil Abloh stuff, like, or kissed it, and, like really had done like, made it special for like, yeah. And done it on Calicut on ice. Well, the next three will be for you, fam, and Math for Christmas. Yeah.
It's gonna say droplets on it.
Yeah. and it's gonna have your names embroidered on the side for math, for Cal.
Can I wear a hat? I don't know if I can wear a hat that says droplets on it.
People
What does that mean?
Keeks had said her sister's like, what is that? Are you working at the club again?
I'm saying like that.
Yeah.
Jesus. Well, I mean, I accept all gifts. Good shouts out to
As you say, you accepted a gift that had bad stitching. Unfortunately, when Big Mike gets here, you can ask him why that cup might not be useful anymore.
Oh, hey man, we'll take that out in post. No.
He'll be like, fuck him. He'll be like bad luck Fale, like fuck him.
Crazy. Your dad's not a big hat guy.
No, he's a big because again he's a golfer.
He likes the other style, not like
he likes. Again, that's why I have his world famous hat because he doesn't wear snapbacks and flat bills. I think there was one flat bill he did like where he wears the unstructured Nike type golf hats
with the little enclosure snap on the back.
Yeah, I mean, because when you're a golfer and you're out in the sun all day, you want something to protect your head and all that, and just I mean, it's kind of the golfer's look. But he's a hat guy when it comes to again, he's a dad, so like, why am I going to wear a snapback and all that? Which is the thing about like Kyle Shanahan, like what makes him I think stand out as a coach is his look, like this hat, and you just see like he kind of wears like these pullover vests, pullover jackets, and these hoodies and joggers and Nike shoes on the sideline. Like he looks like how I would dress like to go out and just do something real quick.
Right.
Compared to how most NFL coaches are older white guys who just throw on the hoodie and sweats and all right, let's go out there, boys, and win. Like
get one for the Gipper.
Yeah, well, not even that as much as like, God damn, like the guy's telling you to run, like, look at you, and you telling me to run, like.
I wonder if is there a black coach style? I watched a video.
Mike Tomlin, Brian Flores, they were again like the typical athletic hats, not like
they're not out there with like specific fit. They don't have like the vintage logo fitteds that is making specific. That's what I would if I was a coach of like the Raiders. All my new era, I'm gonna need y'all to get me the 1974 logo or whatever. I need all that.
I want the NWA.
I would want all that shit. Yeah,
the shit that got banned from schools because they associated it with gang violence. Yeah,
I didn't even care about football, but I needed a Raider something. I had a big matter of fact, I had a white crew neck and It was like a Bo Jackson caricature. And he was running with the Raiders. Man, he was a fucking.
Oh yeah, see that's a style I think that my mom influenced by her being a fan of rap, especially West Coast rap, was that starter jacket, snapback hat, and some Nike shoes, which are basically passed down to me in that way, which I'll dress that way too.
Right.
But hats again. I mean, the pipe downs will be coming out soon. I wonder what Math will be cooking up next, because I can't wait till I get my pipe down.
These were a hot. Matter of fact. Hold up.
I mean, he was passing out the dad hats ones, which he had bought prior to Dallas, but he didn't get them made in time. I think he was also wondering, what am I going to do with these, given the assortment of colors he had.
Which one of these photos is the best photo?
He had a whole coloring book of hats.
Actually, let me see something here. I'm editing on the fly, but no, because there were dad hats that went around. There's one in particular I got a shot of. I'm supposed to be making a video of this, hopefully by the show, and then you'll see a video up on the Black Wrestling YouTube of our time at Black Girl Magic. But I got to see Hearts got a cap. That was one of the few, but it was
that's what she wanted. That's why I made the droplet hats, because she's like
big ticket item. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what the future is with the pipe downs. I know everybody wants them though. So good luck to y'all.
And I think the most underrated hat thing too is like to be inconspicuous. Number one poster child for that is Leo DiCaprio with his assortment of random sport team hats, where just to hide from the paparazzi, he'll put on like a Long Beach State hat and some sunglasses and vape. I think GQ, or was it your employer, might have done a bracket of his greatest hats. And again, this man has a Kansas University hat just to sit and watch the U.S. Open with a 23-year-old supermodel. It's like, He does the basic. He does the basic dad hat, athletic style. Like you go to Lids, you buy the dad hat one, and you just walk right out.
He just give me a hat out of Lids. I got to go to the U.S. Open. I got to go to fucking the strip club. Oh, so this is
you think Leonardo DiCaprio goes to the strip club? I don't think he does.
No, they come to whatever. Never mind.
Yeah.
Whatever young women that he deals with, they're sent to the house. I don't know. I don't know how these women magically appear in his life. Honestly, he's a star. Any means, I'll never know. That hat thing is interesting though because he looks like a goof every time.
Oh, why? When he has it super low, and then like you said, like leave me alone. Like, it's bad when he has the shame. What is kind of the shame is the Peaky Blinders, the cap, the newsboy cap. It's bad when he has that. It's like, come on.
Yeah, the newsboy cap is. He kind of. Yeah, I'm looking. I just googled.
See those fedoras. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I think it was GQ. Just how many team logo hats does Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah, that, but I think the Ringer did a whole bracket. I think your man Andrew Gudegaro was
Leonardo
oversaw it.
Baseball cap bracket. Well, he does have a lot of shit hats. And
my favorite, I should put this because this is like top 5 favorite image of all time, is him and Rihanna at Coachella, and he has a Michigan athletic hat on, and it's like this man is just like living life like no one else.
I just grabbed the photo because I think the best way to describe a lot of these images of Leonardo DiCaprio in these hats is
Oscar winner.
Yeah, Oscar-winning thespian. Yeah, no, this is literally just like up in the club. Look at this man. Is he doing the robot? He can't even see what he's walking right now. What's on his hand?
Matt, yeah, what is it? It's probably some girl's number.
That was the young woman that he found out. See, yeah, damn. Yeah.
I probably that's thing. Like, I didn't get in a podcast and to get famous like that. But like, would that be like the end goal for me? Probably, yeah. Like me wearing this, just like out of a club.
No, what I'm saying is
BRP Davis, aka Drip, was seen.
Again, the thing is, at a certain point, you're just going to be in certain situations. You don't know who you're going to encounter out in the world. So
he does all this branding for like Big Ten schools in the NBA. Look
at this iconic photo, and he's just like rocking.
That's probably when he was being my boy Billy Costigan in The Departed.
But do you think if he had a choice, he would have wore that Red Sox hat again, or would he went with something else? If he could have.
Oh, I think his whole thing was to own. I'm going to wear like the baseball cap
and not care
because Jack Nicholson owned like I'm going to wear sunglasses indoors. And Leo being like inspired by Jack Nicholson in terms of like acting wise and. I'm going to bang as many chicks as I can.
100%.
She's like, I'm not going to do the glasses because that's Jack's thing. I'll do the baseball cap instead.
Right. No,
and the fact that he's slowly morphing into Jack Nicholson as well.
That's a whole other conversation.
When we do the Departed as an episode, he does wear like the Boston Red Sox hat, but it's the black B and the white outline.
There's a lot going on.
When he walks out of the therapy session with Vera Farmiga, he's like, "Why don't you just give me a bottle of scotch and a handgun so I can blow out my own brains?" Or whatever he says. He owned that look, which is again, each guy has their own thing. But again, to use Zamero, I guess were the two guys really that put it to me like there's nothing wrong with wearing a hat because of the branding aspect. And sure, you might be bald, and people could, you're just trying to hide your bald. It's like, thanks for like stating the obvious. It's like, no, like again. I'm just gonna get free hats for life, or people are gonna send me their shit. Like
I don't know if they repeated their hats. I don't know if any of those outfits they wore were repeated. So think about how many episodes they did over those seasons.
Well, that's also when you have like a fashion budget and stuff like that too. I mean, but again, like we are the fashion budget, as Matt would say. So
I would. I mean, you're not wrong, but I would assume that budget was probably spent more on pants and stuff,
and the shoes,
and I would not be surprised if they were getting sent. At least someone at Nike had to be sending them, or Timberland had to be sending them Timber.
Yeah,
they had. If they didn't finesse anything on the sneakers, I think they would have been playing themselves. It just makes sense.
Yeah,
it just makes sense.
I'm trying to think of anything else before we wrap up. Like I said, we'll do a few lifestyle episodes every once in a while. I've copied a few. We might do our version of like GQ's Essentials were like things we can't live out, and also like their tattoo tour. Like, because people always, you had pointed it out about, again, the drip tattoo, and then Uncle Rock had asked Fam if he had a fam tattoo. So we might have to explain our tattoos and get some other guests that have tattoos on. I had asked this about Cody Drake once, and he said like, a lot of my tattoos don't really have meaning. I'm sorry. I'm like, it's all right. I'll just save it for someone else then who would want to do this episode.
I know that meeting. I need to get. There's like a couple more I want to get.
Same. So that might be another lifestyle one. I'm saying like the essentials, things we can't live without.
I'm with it. I'm with
some
all
lifestyle stuff. Again, like, you know, hats is something that I think I started to care more about as being part of Black wrestling and all that is, like, and us having dope hats, and then, you know, me making, even though I should have kept a droplets hat for myself, but I sent it to a good woman instead. I should, but I'll just make another.
Right. That's all you need to do.
I am the manager. But yeah, it's that thing where the branding aspect and the fashion, because I've always kind of been into fashion since, like I said, that's why I got that GQ out, you know, reading GQ and all that. Like, you see, like, kind of like the people you're inspired by. Again, Drake's an obvious one. You know, Leonardo DiCaprio, like, you know, people who you look like, oh, I want to like take that from them and that from them. Kyle Shannon, like that from them, you know, all kind of mix, you know, take all these as, you know, inspirations and mix it for like how I'll dress, you know, what suits me and what's also comfortable at the end of the day, which is why like something like hats, like fitteds, snapbacks, yeah, you know, dad hats, depending on it. You know, I can't wear it with sunglasses all the time, which is kind of my primary look. But
golf, yeah. Nike golfing, that's the wave. Does Drake have a Nocta hat aside from?
You know what? I do have the Nocta hat. It's you know how like the military caps are.
Really? Is it white?
It's no. I'll go get it real quick.
The Nocta cap, yeah. We'll let me put on. I don't know if this hat's ever going to get released. Honestly, I don't know what's going on with the pipe downs. Don't ask me anything. I know I got mine. I imagine you'll see more and hear more about them soon. But damn, this shit is hard.
So it's like I said, it's very like athletic. It's almost just.
Yeah. That's weird.
I like it's just, again, very simple. Again, it's kind of like that low military patrol cap look without being that boxy in the front.
Sad boy patrolman in the club.
But again, the material is soft at least, and again, it's comfortable to wear. Something like this probably pairs better with like the way my hair is, if I'm going to style it or not. But
right,
yeah, I bought this when because I was trying to get the full look. I had the hoodie and the track pants, but the track pants got canceled, so I only got the hat and I do have the gloves. Unfortunately, I couldn't complete the whole look.
Shrinkflation.
But yeah, it's I think I had something else to say. Damn, that's what I hate when I forget.
It's all good. I think.
Oh, remember this is what happened last week too. Where like, oh, I should have said this when we were talking about Bullet Train. Oh, I should have said this when we were talking about Prey. You remember the stuff the next day after you're recording? We're like, oh, damn it. And that's why I was like, I'm going to do like I have to do a white noise after report after the noise.
Well, maybe what you do is just like how you did the notes for BRP after the shows will go up. You do white noise, you know.
Yeah. No, I thought about that, but I'm like, oh, then I got to start writing again.
I got to write.
Oh, real quick. Do we have a list of the Patreon? You forgot to send me that earlier, I think.
If you want to read them off, I can.
Yeah.
Send
that to me real quick, because again, this is White Noise, a Patreon exclusive show on the BR Patreon, along with Black Watch, which drops tomorrow, with the one and only Downtown Tony Brown, the Pride of Jackson, Mississippi. And of course, 1/5 of the Black Wrestling Podcast, Ilfam, host of Something Else, which drops every Wednesday with Lovely LeVeaux on the Black Wrestling YouTube channel. So subscribe if you haven't already. You see exclusive interviews with Suzette Victoria, AJ Francis of Hit Row, Top Dollar, Faye Jackson, who was part of Jobber Slam 2's Race Pants Battle Royal, right? That went on yesterday. And many other guests that will be coming up too, so you don't want to miss out on Something Else. And that's also an IG page and Twitter page for Something Else Pod, no G, because they are all the G you need, as Sam would say.
Big thanks. Big thanks.
What else? As I mentioned earlier, Coffee and Kicks with Matthew Meany should be coming back. Black Wrestling Podcast Club should be coming back too. It'll be coming back when you force me to watch the Halloween movie, so we can pod about Halloween Ends.
No, that's gonna happen. I put the names in the chat, but it formatted weird, so I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay.
You
might have to send it.
There's 63 of them.
Yeah, that's gone up.
So,
just like the YouTube subscribers.
I'm throwing it in the latest email that we shared, so don't mind it. And I don't know if you want to read everybody's full names. You can if you want. It's up to you. But I just sent it. So, like Drip was saying, shouts out to all the patrons. Again, you can pay the 1, or you can pay the 10. If you pay the 1, you get hella content. But if you pay the 10, you get things like these. I know you've seen these on the timeline. The exclusive. The BRP Dallas caps. I don't think these are getting made ever again.
And you said it's in the white noise doc.
I sent it. It's check your Gmail.
I am in my Gmail right now.
I replied to the cover art one just because that was the most recent thing I sent you.
All right, I got it now. Okay, here we go. All right,
63 names.
Yeah, so we got Herbert Coomson, Daryl Bates, Brian, TBP. A.O. Baker, Nate Johnson, Banks, I wonder who that guy is, Michael Beard, Roger Visor, Darren Rizal, Henry Kugum. No, this is bad for me with pronunciation.
Not going on.
Creek from the Beach, shout out V. Shout out Creek, Downtown, Tony Brown, Rome, Joshua Poe, Kofi Simmons, B. Charles P., Allison Byrne, Danny Coyne, Daryl Johnson, City Meals, Justin Avilas, Black John Stud. Hey, Black John Stud.
He's a bunch.
Well, he'll be coming up to talk about the 49ers season preview soon.
We may have Black John Stud on this Thursday.
And just, like I said, favorite person, a legend. Just, Black John Stud. Where was I at after? Jonathan Mostilla, Jermaine Every, Tonio, Thomas Dempsey, Brian Waters. Oh, so Brian, H. Waters.
That's Brian H. Waters.
I know. Bodega Shug, Kevin Tucker, Doug has... Oh, what?
Scruff?
Doug the Scruff. Yeah, Courtney Brown. Not that Chris Brown. Shout out to not that Chris Brown. You met him finally.
I finally
your enemy.
I didn't realize he's such a. I didn't realize as tall as he was. Yeah, big dude. We didn't scrap. But we were cool. He actually he bought me Brian F. Pro, the guy that does the collagen. He was out there and he was selling them for $20. I'll have that on the show on Thursday. I'll show you.
Shout out to that Chris Brown. He was dope in Dallas. Finally, again, same thing. I was like, God damn.
That's a big guy.
Ken Lewis, Greg Hyde, G Hyde, but Stat Guy Greg, SGG, the original Stat Guy Pro Wrestling of the Cheap Beat podcast. Andre Norrells, aka Dre Senior. Shout out Dre. Terrence Roberts, Uncle Rock, John Pierce, my father. Justin Royal, shout out Royale. You met him as well.
Saw him on Friday.
We'd met him at New York last year was the thing too. Justin Jones, the one and only Sky Eve, 1/3 of the Black Announce Table podcast. Antonio, my guy, Nelson of Show Your Work, Uncle Nate, the A Show. Shout out to them. Like I said, I'm going to try to get Justin and Meals on at some point. The Daily Smart, Michael Apple, Mike Steph, some OGs, Joe Dixon, Justin A. Thomas, Javon Vonzarelli, aka Body More Bottles, Amber Peoples, Rattler Steve, Dat Work, the one and only Jason Hawkins, Kenzie Garcia, Jason Roberts, and the man himself, my pops, Semper Vivi. I was watching some Semper Vivi today. He just got it.
No, he's great. You're watching like Observer Live or something?
I watched Friday's Observer Live and I was working. I had it on when I was working out. And the first, I might have to cut it out and post it. Hopefully they don't fucking take it down. But his opening was just a wordsmith, a legend.
That's the thing. I would get tired of Alvarez, and I was like, oh, this guy's got a lot of sense. And me and him just started randomly talking. And
I think he might be tired of Alvarez as well.
He's got the thing is
he said on the first White Noise that he was fed up with some shit.
He's probably said it to Alvarez before.
It'll happen one day with you and me where you're like, you know what, I'm just sick of your shit.
Get the fuck out of here.
I think I do have some Alvarez tendencies, to be honest, in terms of annoyance.
I didn't say that.
That was episode 1 of White Noise, the Jay White Boys, and I had posted. You have to watch some of the. I might have to send you the playlist of the Jay show. We had talked about it last week, but these promos that Jay White cuts at the end of his matches, I had posted this yesterday. He just clapped this whole promo instead of speaking. Like he was like,
Oh, that was in the ring, right? I think I saw it.
Yeah,
I didn't see the
I
whole thing.
posted that. Yeah, like instead of talking, he clapped his promo to magnifique, as our man Avery would say.
Avery would say, yeah.
But this was episode 9. Next week, I think we might start what we talked about last week, which is Drip's journey through cinema, which is episode 10, 11, and 12. Hopefully not 13. There's a lot to talk about because I forgot. In 2017, I basically saw a movie every month.
Wow.
It was a good year for movies, though, to be honest.
2017 was a good year.
Yeah, and that was when y'all brought the show back. And here we are 5 years later with me, Mimi, and a bunch of merch and almost 1,000 subscribers, a Patreon.
Almost a 5-time champion. No, I'm just kidding.
You haven't posted the best of part 4 yet, the final part of 2021. But when you do did you watch it at least?
What's the thing? This is going to go up Sunday. That'll go up on the Patreon Monday. But yeah, I do want.
But I had it was when you were champ prior to Driver Slam, and you're like, you put up the belt, and then Matt's like, this piece of shit, and you're like, you want to come see this asshole? And then we all die, and then because we're like, what?
Just so everybody knows, I randomly choose spots. I'll just hit play in a spot to get a thumbnail from.
That's what I do.
I try to get something where we're laughing, and that's the thumbnail.
Yeah.
After I
come see this asshole in New York City.
Yeah, wait a minute. And then
Matt's like, "Were you doing what? That's what this is about." Like, and then I led it to all the busted open. That was your busted open radio. And messing you in the meat packing district for sure.
God.
That's what we had a whole 45-minute section of this past week's episode about great, what's subjective, what's one's own opinion about something that's great. We are the greatest podcast, not just wrestling podcast.
Well, like I didn't record anything from. I took like a second of video from the car ride up. But like literally, just like there were like maybe 3 or 4 segments of a podcast.
We could never post the stuff we talk in the car. I remember. We had gotten you by that point. Yeah. On the way to the Chinese restaurant when we went through Liberty City, that was a whole podcast. But that would have got violation, as Amelia Sparks would say.
They was asking me if I was handing out violations on Friday night. I didn't have to hand out any, but it was feeling like the Discord for us. There was like one section of the we'll talk about it on Friday.
Unfortunately, I can eat them rat bastards.
Hey, this man's got to go. He's got to do some. This man out here doing work. Low key, you'll see his face. They'll see your face a lot more.
But I mean, I gotta be out where the people are, where the masses are.
Yeah,
where the movers and shakers. Again, I gotta. I'm just a man in the background is the thing.
Yeah, you're just a man that's home because
that is true.
It was easier for Maryland people to drive up
because I'm 1,000 miles away.
Exactly. If it was a situation where something was going on in Minnesota and everybody tried to go out,
who the fuck would come to Minnesota? I mean, except one woman, but that was something different. But most importantly,
on that note,
where can people find you on social media, co-host and producer Cal?
I'm at Cal on Twitter, but anyway, at Black Wrestling is where you want to find us. BlackWrestling.com, YouTube.com/Black Wrestling. We are currently, where are we right now? We're like very close to hitting.
They're 965, right?
We're very close to hitting a number I want to hit. So if you aren't subscribed, please do that, like, comment, share, all that stuff so your friends can subscribe too. But again, you're not going to see anything like this anywhere but patreon.com/Black Wrestling, at least for a little bit until we drop it on the YouTube.
Exclusivity is the point of
Get everything Patreon first here, get everything exclusively here. It should be your one-stop shop for a lot of that stuff. I know it could be a little crazy. I'm trying to get the schedule going, but once I get that schedule set, it's a wrap. But that's me. Where can they find you?
You can find me on social media on Twitter at Davis aka Drip. Instagram is Davis Colon DC. Banks versus Davis on YouTube. Who knows what will ever happen with that. White Noise is again Patreon exclusive, but the replays will be on YouTube. So last week's episode where we talked about all sorts of things, the catch up should be available then. And like I said, we had past episodes with Semper Vivi, Math, Mimi, Fam, Sham. Shout out to Sham. It was his birthday the other day when I said he looked like Angelo Dawkins, which was a callback though. I wasn't the first one to to call him that. Lord Vader himself.
Word.
Word. We've had some great episodes. We might get back to some wrestling stuff in the future. I have some big episodes planned again. But this journey through cinema is something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and there are some episodes I have planned to do about Carmelo Hayes, Orange Cassidy, CM Punk, given what's been going on as of late. That was something that I was already talking about, but just waiting for the right time since he came back. I might have to start that sometime soon, but
right.
So most important, like Cal said, at Black Wrestling on Instagram, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, most importantly the YouTube. Those share, subscribe, like the videos, comment, and yeah, just live every Thursday, 8:35 Eastern. Don't miss out.
Don't miss out on something, man. Yes, I do. We got to Photoshop Mimi in there at some point.
We gotta get a. That's the thing. Unfortunately, well, she couldn't make it.
Yeah.
Yesterday and Friday as well, but we do have to.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out soon.
Everybody says that. We'll figure it out for real.
That is the thing. Unfortunately, whenever we all get a picture of like a bunch of other people, like last night, shout out to Wrestle Rap, Vin and Emilio, it was the Maryland connection with the Wrestle Rap connection.
It's just how it goes. And one of these days,
we were in Dallas and we had a Black John Studd and Gene Cena with the picture of Turi instead of you, or King Trady, I should say. We Love Wrestling.
Yes. Right.
What would I ask Trey to come and talk about? I mean, we could talk about some stuff, but
I just hit him up. He's probably down. He probably can't wait to talk about non-wrestling stuff, which is
that's the thing too. But my whole thing is that I always try, whenever I invite a guest, it's for a specific reason. It's worthy of their talents and their insight, and their expertise. Same thing. That's something like for me, for Meals and Justin at the A Show. I'll be potting with Eve later, and my brother Banks, as always, he and I can talk about when Fast 10 drops. That might have to be that we might have to bring DVD from the dead.
He can sit in for me that week on.
No, we'll bring the show back from the dead, or it might be back full time by then. Who knows?
We'll see.
But on that note, this is White Noise. I have to come out with a good parting shot. I mean, we do have. This is why I say I might have to have a rundown there. Oh, was there anything news-wise that?
Was there any news?
I'm trying. Well, again, so Ryan Gosling again to carry on the Gosling agreement. And Margot Robbie might be taking part in the Ocean's 11 reboot.
Yeah.
Which as much as I love those two people, it's directed by Jay Roach, who I'm not really a fan of. I mean, he did
that shit is garbage. Come on, man.
He did the Austin Powers movies and all the Meet the Parents movies.
What's the latest thing he did? Jay Roach? I've not heard that name in a minute. What's the most recent?
He did a few TV shows.
He did Bombshell in 2019.
Yeah, but I was about to say he did the Bomb, which is probably why Margot Robbie's a part of this. But I can't think there was any other big Hollywood news which is why we're kind of doing stuff like this, because news has been slow. As we said last week, Wakanda Forever is until November.
There's a new Game of Thrones prequel stuff.
Yeah, but as you and I said, we might not be hyped for that. Oh, the thing, we might have to talk about this. I didn't watch the trailer yet, but The Idol dropped a second trailer, so we might have to. And you had already said that we'll review at least the pilot of The Idol starting one.
Oh, word.
The weekend.
I'm with it.
But again, this journey through cinema, or Drip at the Movies, a 3-part series. I was organizing it Friday night. I was just again shocked by the number of movies I saw in 2017. I have the tickets and I have the digital receipts. Some I had forgotten I had seen, unless I had the physical tickets. So that'll be something.
We need the photos of the tickets. I think that'll be.
I have they're just once again just to preview for the people.
Drip is getting ready. I think this is gonna be interesting. Drip at home on a Friday night doing nothing but getting his list of movies.
What happens when you have no girl, no life?
I understand. I usually just fall asleep.
All your friends are. I try, but again. So this I think is all 2017.
Oh shit! Oh, you cap them all.
That's what I'm saying, and this is where I'm super sentimental, and it's not. I'm not a hoarder at all.
Nah, but I mean, I can understand people keep concert tickets and stuff like that. Yeah.
So this is a tease. This will probably be episode 2. Get Out. I saw the day after I turned 22.
Oh shit!
And I have kind of a funny experience and get out. Where like I had to sit next to I think like a whole group of people, and the person I think didn't want to sit next to me because like they were the odd person out.
Oh shit!
Because I bought my ticket so late was the thing.
Gotcha. So they were annoyed that they had to sit next to the little weirdo.
And again, like I don't fucking know these people. I'm like, don't get again.
You know what? I'm trying to watch it.
And someone had a tweet today about people seeing movies alone. I saw a good amount. I've seen a good amount of movies alone, but also a good amount of movies with some people as well. So we'll be documenting the movie. Why I went to see these movies, kind of brief reviews if I like them or not, if they've held up. I've basically seen them all at the same theater since I moved here. Kind of some stories where I was in life as well. So it's again maybe a 4-part series, just depending on how.
Let's go.
And it's like I said, all 2017, all fucking 2017.
Hopefully y'all just peep that preview. Drip is about to look. He got the whole anyway. He got receipts in his hand. We'll catch y'all next week.
Yeah, because I got to get ready for another show in about.
He's got some
an
other.
Hour and a half.
When I got to get these other things ready, but matter of fact, as while we're live, and then we'll get the hell out of here. I'm putting up the catch up episode now.
Well, you know how we end with the "I'll beat your ass," right? I gotta find a very drip clip.
Yes.
To post that's something like that.
We find a drip clip.
It might have to be the Jay White clip or something else.
Get me that clip. I'll edit it on the end of this. I promise you.
Yeah.
I promise you.
Given my visuals, I might have it a whole sort of. They might be, the Henry Hill beating a guy's face in with a gun.
Again, as long as it's not going to get us kicked off.
That's the thing. It probably would.
But yeah, well, we could start with the Jay White clip and go from there.
We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
All right, yo. Peace.